Did you know that one of the main problems with having chronic illness and depression is loneliness? Find out in this video what it's like to live with chronic illness and loneliness. Hello, my name is Darren and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video I want to talk about how my chronic illness and depression has made me feel isolated and lonely. Ever since I retired from work back in 2014, I've lost contact with a lot of my old friends. As a result, I've become isolated and lonely. I used to, when I worked, I used to see people daily, on a daily basis. I used to speak to all my friends. I used to socialise quite a lot. But now, I don't. I don't socialise, and I feel, really lonely and isolated because of it. And if it wasn't for my wife and son, I wouldn't see anyone else, because of my chronic illness and depression. It does limit me quite a lot in what I'm able to do, and as a result I can't socialise as much as I want to. It's very hard for me to describe how lonely and isolated my illness has made me feel. I know probably a lot of you that that are healthy probably wouldn't understand what I'm talking about or what I'm going through, but it is hard. I know I'm not alone. I know other people with chronic illness, depression and other mental issues have the same issues as me. They struggle with loneliness and isolation as well, and I read about it in social media all the time about how people feel isolated and lonely because they have lost contact with their friends and family because of their illnesses. And I'm no exception. I just cannot socialise like I used to. I'm just not physically able to. When you have a chronic illness like kidney disease and kidney failure, you have to take each day as it comes, and so you can't plan anything because you don't know whether you're going to be able to do something from week to week. What people don't realise is that people coping with chronic illness and depression is a full-time job. It doesn't go away, you don't get better, you just plod on and cope with it. And I guess that's one of the reasons why old friends and family lose contact and lose touch, as they think you're probably better and just ignoring them, which couldn't be further from the truth. I wish I could meet up with some old friends, I really do. But it's just hard to socialise and reach out, especially when you have a chronic illness and depression. I know when it's hard for someone to understand, but it's really hard for me to pick up the phone and ring somebody. Ring one of my old friends, especially somebody that I've not spoken to in ages. That's incredibly hard for me to do. But thinking about it, you know, I know I used to have friends, but I don't really have friends anymore. I have acquaintances that I have on social media, which is, if you really think about it, is really sad. But what's worse than being lonely and isolated from your friends is the isolation I feel from the rest of my family. Because my brother turned his back on me, I think it's probably in 2015, because he thought I was exaggerating my symptoms and just imagine them just to get sympathy from the family. I don't hear from him anymore. He's turned his back on me, and as a result, I don't hear anything from the rest of the family, which is really sad. And it's getting to that time of the year, or approaching that time of the year, when the nights are drawing in and it's getting approaching the party season, when people started to think about planning Christmas get-togethers, Christmas parties with friends and family, and that sort of makes my depression even worse and makes me feel quite sad, actually, quite sad and depressed, especially as I have nobody except my wife and son. But I can't just keep relying on them because it's not fair on them. It's just really hard for me. I know people just say, pick up the phone and ring someone, speak to someone, but it's just goddamn so hard for me. I can't do that. And I know it's really hard for you to understand. I just cannot do that. My wife says I should join a club, but it's hard to. I cannot commit to anything, as I don't know whether I'll be physically able to do anything from week to week. So as a result, I don't do anything. I don't plan anything. And so I don't socialise. I don't talk to anyone else. And that's why I feel quite lonely and isolated. And I'm not talking about this just to get sympathy from you guys. I made this video to try and make people understand what people with chronic illness and depression have to go through. And I guess I'm telling you this so that if you know someone with chronic illness and depression, and you haven't heard from them in a while, then maybe looking at this video will make you realise why they haven't contacted you. It's not because they're ignoring you or forgotten about you. It's because they're probably not physically or emotionally able to pick up the phone and contact you, which is how I feel. So maybe if you could pick up the phone and ring them up and see how they're doing. Because I would love it if one of my old friends picked up the phone, rung me up, saw how I was doing, or even popped in, see how I was doing, invited me out for a drink, and we went for a drink and had a chat. That would mean so much to me. And I think a lot of people are in the same boat as me. And if you have lost contact with friends and you wonder why, and if they've got a chronic illness like me or depression like me, pick up the phone and talk to them. Because it would mean the world to them, because I know it would mean the world to me. I don't really know what else to say at the moment. I think I've covered all I wanted to say. So I think maybe I'll leave the video there for the time being. Does anyone else feel like me? Do you feel isolated and lonely? Do you struggle to socialise? Do you struggle to pick up the phone and talk to someone because of your illness? Let me know in the comments how you feel. Thanks for watching, And if you like this video, then please zap that like button. And if you want to watch more videos like this, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Cheerio, bye for now, see ya!